Welcome back to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I told you I was going to have John on. This is John Wells from... Tell him a little bit about yourself, John.
Okay, originally I'm from north of Wheeling, West Virginia, the hills of West Virginia. My father was a coal miner, like his father and his father before him. I grew up poor. Didn't have a pair of shoes of my own until I was 6.
Wow.
Walked 6 miles to school uphill both ways in the snow. No, just kidding. And
how old are you, John?
I will be 61 next month.
Are you retired?
Yes, I am. I was able to retire at 58. The way I was able to do that was I've always worked 2 to 3 jobs, and I saved up some money, I invested some money, and that's what I live off of today.
So you're not drawing Social Security or anything like that?
No, not till age 67 is my plan.
Oh, okay. Have you ever lived in it overseas before, or is this your first time being an expat?
No, my original plan was Mexico, and I went to one of the safest cities in Mexico, Saltillo, and after 3 months I had enough, and I knew that wasn't for me. I had one attempted robbery on me there, and that was in broad daylight on an interstate.
Wow.
But I just like the Philippines a lot better. It's I came here and I'm happy. Been here for 2 years.
Yeah, what made you come to the Philippines? How did you find out about the Philippines, Rubble?
Okay, this is interesting. The factory I was working at in Gallatin, Tennessee, we had 4 Filipino women that worked there, and they were all good workers. They were all fairly honest. They didn't look too bad, and I got to be very good friends with one after about 5 years, and I went to her citizenship party. She got her citizenship, and she had all her Panay friends there and their husbands, and I would go to the husband. Most of them were old, and they had no personalities. They were like bumps on a log. I said, hey, how you doing? They're sitting there smoking, you know. And I thought, well, heck, if these guys can get these kind of women, what can I, I should be able to. So that's really what got me going on there.
So when did you arrive here?
I came, I believe it was March of 2019.
So you made up your mind. How long did you plan it, or you just woke up one day and said, I'm going to the Philippines?
No, I planned it for about at least a good 6 months. I had to get everything in order. I sold everything. I mean, actually, a lot of it I gave away. I don't have a car or nothing. I got rid of all of that. I had met a girl online, and maybe I was just lucky online. I mean, I saw a bunch of scammers, and the Panay women that I worked with told me, whatever you do, don't ever give anybody any money. And I listened to that, and I didn't. The girl I met online, I talked to her for a long time. I came in October of 2018, I believe it was, and spent 2 weeks with her. Everything was fine. She was 24, very good looking. And I came back in December and spent another couple of weeks with her. And then, like I said, I came here in March permanently. She was in Southern Lady. Now, things didn't work out. She was not very mature, and there was a lot of drama, not only with her entire family. I mean, I knew I wasn't going to live like that for the rest of my life.
Exactly. Now, I want to clear up something. I'm not against dating online. I just tell guys, when you are dating online, proceed with caution and don't send money over there. There's good women online, but as you know now, but I need you to bear witness, John. When you met that girl, how many more beautiful ones did you see when you got here?
Oh, many, many. But I also saw a lot of them on the dating sites. And like I say, when you talk to somebody even for 2 days and they start asking for money, get away from her. I mean, that's just it. But there are many beautiful women.
So how many women have you? How much experience do you have here, John?
Okay, after the first one there were 6 more. Now, the last one, I've been with her for over a year, you know, and it all seems to work out. That's a long by far. But my tolerance after the first one got smaller and smaller. You know, that's, but some of the girls I dated were from 19. I think the oldest one was 39. Mm-hmm. And they were just different things. So, like I say, some of that was my fault. And
so did what you were looking for in a woman, did that change or something? Or?
No, that really didn't change. Like I say, I was in love with the first girl. I'll be honest with you. I look at her picture or something like that, and but like I say, just too much drama there. The second one, we never got that involved. I mean, we did for a while, but I mean, she was 21. She had 2 kids by 2 different guys, and one of her kids was 6 years old. So that kind of tells you a little bit right there. Yeah. And then it just kept going on.
Was she from Lady?
Actually, she was Butuan Mindanao. Mm-hmm. I met her, and that's the thing. You don't have to meet women online. I met her. She was working at a barbecue in Lapu-Lapu, and I happened to be walking by. I saw her, and I just started talking to her, and just went from there.
Yeah. Now, did you? You don't have a problem taking care of women though over here?
Oh no, I don't know. I mean, I took care of women in the U.S.
Right, a lot cheaper over here, John.
Yes, it is a lot cheaper, and you get a lot more for your money.
Yeah. So, is this the longest that you've been with somebody?
Here?
1 year? Yeah, here.
Here, yes, by far.
So you got history in the States. You've been married before?
Yes, I've been married twice before.
How long?
Well, the first time was 15 years. The second time was for 2 years, but we had lived together for 10 years prior to that. And that's a long story I don't want to get into now.
Yeah. I mean, we just being general. I just want know that, so that you do know the difference between the women there and the women here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what do you think the biggest difference is? Just one of them. I know it's a lot, but...
The biggest thing I see is the women here really want to take care of you. I mean, they are, I think it's because they're raised from day one that their job is to take care of their man. I come in from sweating, which is very hot here. My wife will take off my shirt and get the towel and pat me down. I mean... And if I don't let her do that, she gets very offended. Yes, very offended. Yeah, they really want to take care of you. The women here kind of remind me of the women in the U.S. up till about 1970.
Yeah. I remember when I was little, my father would come home from work, he'd be the first one to eat.
Dinner on the table,
made his plate first. I remember. If he wanted to lay down, everybody had to be quiet.
Same thing.
I don't know. And then all of a sudden, by the time I was grown and started dating, women didn't care nothing about you. It was the paycheck.
Yeah, and I think some of that is because a lot of American women now work, and so they figure if they work, that's what I think.
Yeah.
But
now, what's been the best thing that you like about the Philippines? What's been like your most, besides the women, of course, because there's just so many available young women here, single women. What else is it that you like about the Philippines?
Well, there's a lot that I like, and like Calvin always says, don't sugarcoat. There's also some things I don't like, but I think the positives definitely outweigh the negatives. The cost of living is the biggest advantage. I averaged $1,750 a month last year, and for that in the U.S. I couldn't even come close. I look good.
Yeah, this is a nice place right here. As you can see from the camera, John's place, he got a modern place. It's new, really.
Less than 2 years old.
Yeah, he's the only one. He says you're the only resident in here, right?
Yes, there's 12 apartments, and it's $140 a month. That's way too much for the locals here, so I'm the only one. I have the whole apartment building to myself.
And that's cheap, so if any of you guys out there are talking about coming to St. Carlos, there's plenty of places to stay.
There's 11 right here.
John's got 11 apartments. He's the only one. Imagine that. Yeah. So what kind of activities you do over here, John? When you...
Well, I mean, I would like to travel, maybe go to the beach. Even though red hair and freckles, you don't go to the beach too much. But since the lockdown, I really haven't been doing much of anything. I mean, mostly just I'll walk to try to somewhat keep in shape. Yeah. And I spent a lot of time on the internet.
Now you recently got your license. Can you kind of explain that process to guys? Because I always get a lot of questions about that. Is their license good when they get over here? What do they have to do to change it over?
Driver's license. Whatever you do, if you come here and your U.S. driver's license are getting ready to expire, please go to the LTO and get them switched over. I did not. Mine ran out in 2020 in February, but the buses were so good here and so cheap, and they drive so crazy here. I'll be honest, it's insane here how they drive. I didn't even want to drive, and plus the expensive car and everything. Yeah. But now since the lockdown, we don't have buses. You can't hardly go anywhere. So I thought I'd maybe like to get a car so I can travel a little bit. It's really a pain to go from step one to get your driver's license here. You have to take 15 hours of classroom. Wow. That costs you 2,000 pesos. That's $40. So it's, it's not outrageous. Yeah. Then you have to take 8 hours of driving, and that's 4,500 for an automatic. Now, if you only do a manual, it's only 4,000. Well, it's harder to drive a manual than what it is an automatic, so I don't know why they charge more.
Remember, it never makes sense to us over here, but it doesn't have to make sense over here, guys. Remember that. Now, is that in addition to the 2,000?
Yes, that's 4,500 more. So 6,500.
Wow.
Then I finally got my learner's permit, and that wasn't that much. That was like $350. And I have to wait a month and then go and take a written test, and that should be it. But that would cost me another 800 pesos.
Oh my God.
But there were other things on it. You have to get a physical. That was 500 pesos, which is $10, but still, and that was a joke of a physical.
Yeah. Where'd you go, John, to get your physical?
Physical, they have it all nice and convenient here. You have the LTO, and you just go across the street. There's a doctor there that'll give you a physical. But I had a problem. I know Calvin's brought this up before, but I'll tell you too on this. Make sure that all of your signatures on all your documents and your names match everything. Bank account. I went to open up a bank account. I got turned down by 5 different banks. I never had this much trouble getting getting somebody to take my money.
Right.
But I got turned down by 5 banks because the signature I used on my driver's license did not match the signature I used on my passport.
Wow.
So back to the driver's license. My name's John Wales Jr. Okay? I have used John Wales Jr. on every document. My passport says it. My driver's license, everything. But my birth certificate says John Wales. Oh, that turned into a big problem. I ended up going to a lawyer here, and that cost me 1,200 pesos. And what they all decided was, I know, it just gets better and better. What they all decided was I could go and get a postal, I think they called it a postal ID, so I had to go to the Bongarai and get a background check. That wasn't much, that was like 20 pesos. And then I got my postal ID, and that was, I can't remember what it wasn't much, 200 pesos. So make sure all your paperwork matches.
Well, see, I did a video on that. That's why I was telling guys, make sure when you come over here, all your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted, because they're strict and they're petty about stuff like this. If they tell you on your immigration run to fly out of the country for 24 hours, don't come back in 23 hours and 45 minutes. They're going to send you back. That's how it is over here in the Philippines,
And the people, the government officials know that they don't take all this stuff serious. One thing, if you're divorced, you come here, bring your old divorce papers. I did not. So when I I was getting my driver's license divorced, the woman said, you better put single on there, because if you say divorce, you have to have your divorce papers. So put single on there. It's something else.
Now, when you go to get your renewal, let's see, I know I do 2 months. You do what? How long? 6. How much does that cost you? Not without the ACR, just the 6 months.
Last time it was 7,240 pesos. So what's that? About 15 bucks.
Is that for 6 months?
6 months. I'm good till June.
Well, that's not bad. Cause see, I paid, let's see, 2,800 and it was 28, a little bit over 28. I think it was 2808 for 2 months. So for 3 times that, 6 months, that would be 8,000. I'm paying more.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm paying about 1,300.
Well,
yeah.
But they charge me different amounts at different times too, so we'd have to go through everything. That's what, like I said, last time it was less than I thought it'd be. It's 7,240 pesos.
Yeah, but you got your ACR card.
I got my
That's
ACR
why.
card. Okay.
Now what I'm talking about? What about the time before that? Can you remember?
I'll have to go get my paperwork. But the time before that, I think it was like 10,000.
Wow.
But we'd have to go through the paperwork and see why I don't understand.
Because normally they don't give a discount over here. You would think they would, the longer you go. But it's a quick process in Bacala, right?
Yes, it is. No problem there. Lapu. If you're in Cebu, don't go to the one in Cebu. I've read nothing but horror stories.
It's horrible.
Lapu. There's a Gasano Mall there, and they have one right there. And that's what I used to use.
See, you told me that. I didn't know that. Now I lived in Cebu for 2 years and never knew that.
I was in Southern Lady. It was 6 hours to get to Tacloba, and I didn't want to do that. It was only 3 hours to get over to Cebu. So I thought I'd go to the Cebu one. Me and that was that first girlfriend of mine. We were sitting there in the mall eating. I had to look over, and I found immigration. There was nobody in it, and that's I used that one after that.
Yeah, I was the fastest. Now Taclobans they're fast there.
But like I say, I was 6 hours away.
Yeah, you're 6 hours
Even
away,
though the driving time on a U.S. interstate would probably only be 1 hour.
Probably, yeah. And I tell you, that's Cloven, man. I went there. It's like a cemetery, man. It's got a eerie feeling to it, John. Because all the people died there.
Yeah.
You can still see the watermarks on the buildings, and but it's a beautiful place. The layout, but you can see why so many people died with that surge.
Right on the ocean.
Because it's right on the ocean. It's right there. The street and the ocean is even. It's the strangest thing. I've never seen anything like it. Riding down the street in the damn tricycle, you look there and there's the water right next to you. But yeah, the quickest to me was Zamboanga because there's nobody there.
Yeah.
That's not a tourist place, but you can go there. You in and out. They do everything for you. Then Bacala, then to Cloven. I've never been to that Lapu.
Well, like I say, it was quick. One time there were quite a few in there when I went in, and but still, I was out of there within a half hour. It wasn't bad.
Have you had any bad experiences here? Anybody ever try to rob you? Or
No
fight
robbery.
you?
No.
Has anybody ever called you names or anything? Go home?
And they may have. If they did, I didn't understand it. I tell you, I joke. I live here. My neighborhood's not nice like Calvin's. This is a lot nicer than mine. My neighbors are all squatters, and most of them drive pedicabs and tricycles. I drink with them. I pick on them. They pick on me. We cut jokes. I have no problems with anybody here.
Yeah, me either. Yeah, I've never had, in my going on 12 years, I've never, now today the old lady, I heard them talking. I was going over to little baby Denise's house to check on the progress of the floor, and I walked past these two old ladies, and the one lady said, "Is he Americano?" Then the older lady said, "Oh, he's a Negro." But it was funny,
But Negro's not a bad word.
Not a bad word.
That's the name of where we live.
But I'm just saying, some people would catch them off guard, But I did a video on that, and I told them, don't let that bother you.
Yeah, that's nothing bad.
They're Spanish, colonial.
Well, you met my wife. She is considered a negrita, dark, and she's not that dark.
She's nothing. She looks like she's the typical Filipino. I don't know where they get that from.
I don't know either. But
that's strange that you told me that.
Yeah.
She's just a regular, Yeah,
in her village, some of the guys described her to me as the Black Beauty, the Negros Beauty.
Well, see, I was talking to some people here, and they don't understand. That's where the Negroes came from.
Yes, that's Spanish for black.
Yeah, but because when the Spanish explorers got here, they saw how dark the natives was here, and they called them Negroes.
Well,
so it's Negros Occidental, Negros Oriental, but somebody in my comments said it's Negroes. They'll say, "No, it's bull," and it is.
You have an English
nothing to be ashamed about.
You have an English pronunciation. You have a Spanish pronunciation.
Yeah, but they called it. It's called Negros Occidental. It's not Negros.
And Occidental means west.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Negros Oriental means east.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you, John. You know, I know you're busy, but I want to ask you something else.
Sure.
What about see, I don't drink. What about the alcohol over here?
Okay,
Tell me about that.
let me
Yeah,
get
go ahead.
some here. Now this costs 120 pesos per bottle. Tanguay rum, produced here in the Philippines.
Is that good stuff?
It is very good. The locals all think it's cheap stuff because it only costs 120 pesos a bottle. But
For that big fifth bottle?
yeah, and
Wow.
it's 80 proof. And
Wow.
this is good. I will put this up against any Bacardi anytime. You can see on the back the gold medals they've won over the years.
Yeah.
It's a world-class rum, but they don't have the alcohol tax like we do in the U.S.
Yeah.
That's why it's
cheap.
so much cheaper.
Now, do they have like the brands that you would find in America?
Well, I've seen quite a few.
Have you tried anything?
I bought some California wine not too long ago. It was about maybe the same price as what it would be in the U.S.,
Right.
but it was delicious.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I know I've heard Calvin say that they get Chinese knockoffs, and maybe they do, but I think if you would buy off a reputable grocery store like
Right,
Save More or something,
right.
I think you'd be fine.
Well, I don't know about liquor. I know that somebody told me that they water the liquor down here is what I was told.
Well, maybe.
Not that it's knockoff. They said that, you know, if you go in and get like some Johnny Walker Black or something, it's going to be watered down.
I mean, there you go. A fifth of Jack Daniels is 1,200 pesos.
They see that? Yeah. Yeah,
But
they see that.
I took that picture at the grocery store. When I first came here, since I was from Tennessee, I bought a fifth of Jack Daniels to
tastes
give
regular.
to,
Oh, you
to
gave
give
it
to
away.
my, I thought then future wife's father. And I think I paid $38 for it. And I got over here and I
Wow.
started seeing Jack Daniels for $22, and I thought, I carried this all the way over here. I paid more for it.
Now, you have any plans on getting married here? Or?
Probably eventually.
Yeah, to the woman you with now.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
There's
about kids?
kids. I had a vasectomy. My wife would love a kid. These Filipino women,
Yeah.
I think Calvin will back me up on this. They love foreigner babies. They make a big deal out of it. It's almost like a status symbol. But I've had a vasectomy, so I don't tell the girls this. We just keep trying. No, just kidding. Now here's a bottle of Bacardi Black, which that's their good stuff with the bad on it, for 650 pesos.
Y'all can see that.
But like I say, 120 pesos. I will
Yeah.
put this against anything in the world. It's
So
definitely world
that's what
class.
you're drinking now.
Yes, and it's good.
With orange juice. Is that what you
Yeah,
got?
well, I drink with Coke or with orange juice, or
yeah.
sometimes when I want to get wild with the petty cab drivers, I just
Drink
drink
it
a
straight.
shot.
Yeah. See, I know they got. Have you ever tried that Empatador?
I don't like it.
What is that?
It is 40 proof.
Is it rum?
It's this watered down to 40 proof. See, it's 80 proof, so that means they put 1/2 more water.
Yeah.
And I try to tell my neighbors, they'll drink at Emperador.
Light. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
like
they call it.
it's 40 proof, but it costs 120 pesos, just like the Tanguay. I say this is 80 proof, twice as strong. They say, but it's too strong. I say, buy the Tanguay, add half water, you will have the same thing. But they just don't get it.
Have you ever? I see them making that mixture over here. They'll get like Tanduay and pour it in with Sprite, and then pour some green mixture in there.
I
and
drank
they'll sit
that
around
once
and
in
drink that.
Southern Lady, and I didn't
Yeah.
like it. But that's me.
Yeah, I see them doing that all the time.
Now, big beer drinkers, they only have one brewery here at San Miguel. Their Pale Pilsner is a world-class beer. It don't taste like Bud Light, I'll tell you that. They have a San Miguel Light. It don't taste like Bud Light. It's got more flavor to it.
Yeah.
So the beers are pretty good. But actually, the beers, in my opinion, are expensive. You'll pay 110 pesos for a liter. 120 pesos for 80 proof, the
Wow.
fifth, you know.
Yeah,
So actually, the beer's kind of expensive, but it's good. It's world class.
What about the food here? I know we went out to eat the other night. Did you enjoy that food?
That was the best restaurant I've eaten at here. To me, the two biggest negatives here are the heat and the humidity, because it does get hot here,
Yeah.
and the food. I eat mostly imported American food, and if I could stop doing that, I would save about $500 a month because the
Have you
imports are
lost
expensive
any weight?
here.
Have you lost any weight here since you've been here?
Actually, I put some on because of the lockdown. I'll probably put on.
But you
20
walk
pounds.
a lot, John.
I walk everywhere, but
it don't matter.
We've been locked down. I mean,
Yeah, I know,
lockdown really has taken its toll.
I try to tell guys in the States, because they always say, well, get out of that house and do a vlog somewhere. I'm like, yeah, if only I could. They don't understand, the lockdown here is not like the lockdown in America. You're locked down, guys, and the borders are closed. They got police and military everywhere. They'll lock you up.
At one time, only one person per household could go out of the house, and for me it was Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. I mean, we had real lockdowns.
But I mean, I tell them over and over. I guess they can't hear me, but I tell them over and over. I'm like, this is a lockdown, guys. Yesterday was the first time I went anywhere that even resembled a trip when I went to the beach. Where you going down?
To go in public, this is what you have to wear.
Yeah.
To go in public.
Yeah.
Go into a store, they take your temperature, they have tracing, you either use your cell phone to do it or sign in, and they spray you with alcohol.
Absolutely. And that's, even if you go to the store right in the next stall, they're going to do the same thing to you again.
And it's a pain in the butt, but the Philippines only has 500,000 cases of corona and have only had 10,000 deaths. Now, the U.S. does have 3 times the population, but the last I looked, the U.S. has 26 million cases and almost 500,000 dead. So,
well, because their rights over there.
Yeah.
See, that's why I'm saying that, the Philippines, they set a mark to open back up the second half of this year. I think they're going to do it because the people over here, they listen to authority. They're not running around worrying about their rights. Hell, I say it all the time. You have no rights when you're dead, John.
Well, we don't have rights here as foreigners.
That's right. Yeah. But I've got people in my comments that will argue that. I'll say, okay, well, all right, I'm trying to tell I'm boots on the ground for a reason. Okay, I'm going to give you the nitty gritty. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You come over here thinking you got rights and you want to speak out
You're going to have problems.
Duterte and the officials here, you might as well get your casket ready.
Like Calvin said many times, number 1, stay away from drugs. Don't get involved in them here. Number 2, stay out of politics.
Stay out of politics.
That cuts your chances down of having problems.
Oh my God. It almost to zero.
Yeah, to zero.
You're not going to come up with anything. Or fooling with somebody's wife.
Oh, that's
still with them, I'm saying.
Well, and that's the thing. There are laws here. If you catch your wife having sex with another man in the act, you can kill them both and nothing happens to you.
Wow.
So a lot of it's common sense laws as far as I'm concerned.
Well, this is a throwback. This is like living in 1940 as far as I'm concerned. Some of the stuff they do over here, it's like living in 1940, John.
I agree.
I mean, really.
Or before.
I eat first at the table and I eat by myself. They won't eat until I eat and until I'm finished. Yeah.
Now, my wife's different. She wants us to eat together.
I mean, well, it's just you and her.
Yeah.
But I'm saying in a family setting. I mean, when I'm down in Zamboanga, I'm eating by myself. They will not touch that food until I'm done.
Huh.
And then my plate is picked, put up and cleaned and everything. Then they'll sit down and eat every single time. And I'm like, wow, this is, from something off, Leave It to Beaver or something like that, man, really. But thanks, John. I really appreciate this interview.
I enjoyed it.
I'm going to make it a 2-part because we went over, so I'm going to make part 1 and part 2. But I'm not going to cut anything.
Shout out?
Yeah, give a shout out, John.
How about Mr. Ingram Davis? Get your kidney working. We're waiting for you over here.
That's right. Yeah. I've got so many names, I don't even leave nobody out. But I did get one from Croatia today. I saw and I said, man, now that's unusual, John. Do they even have internet in Croatia? Do they have YouTube? Obviously they do, but I didn't think so.
I was surprised by it.
Yeah, I mean, I was really shocked, and that stood out. Because usually, I've got one from Luxembourg, South Africa.
I've seen UK on there, Ireland.
Yes, UK, yeah. But that Croatia was really different.
Yeah,
I was kind of shocked.
Because I think that Croatia might thoughts is almost like a third world country. Maybe not quite as bad.
Yeah. So thanks a lot for stopping by. Really, really appreciate it. If you're in America, it's getting late. Before you let your head hit the pillow tonight, find somebody to help. You don't want them late grocery runs, beer runs, weed runs. You just get off second shift and you see somebody in the street, give them a couple of dollars. Buy them something to drink. Buy them something to eat. If you're in the Philippines, what time is it, John?
I'll have to look, but it's what, about 3? Yeah, 3 o'clock.
About 3 o'clock. We got about 3 more hours before it gets dark to find somebody to help. Y'all know the situation over here. COVID and the lockdowns, the pandemic wiped out 10 million jobs. That's why it's important we find somebody to help, John, over here.
Yeah, I agree.
Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. We help other people. We help ourselves. Take care. Stay safe. Stay COVID free, and I'll see you next time.